in the big town of Blakey, Georgia. I figured I'd make me a little ride over to Plains, Georgia and check it out. I hadn't been over there in a while, and from what I understand, old Jimmy Carter's 100 years old and voted for Kamala. But everybody else in Plains, Georgia probably voted for, is going to vote for Trump. So I'm going to go over there and check that out and see how many Trump signs I see over there. But I'm headed to Blakey, Georgia, and I'm going to see if that's true. But when I remember last time I went over there, when Trump was running, went over to Plains a little before the election, they had Trump signs everywhere. And old Jimmy Carter, I think he was the only one in the town. Jimmy Carter and his wife voted Democrat, because that's what Jimmy Carter always does. He's always voted Democrat, no matter what. So I heard this rumor that old Jimmy Carter voted by mail because he's 100 years old, can't get out. But he voted for Kamala, and I would assume everybody else probably voted for Trump. But I'll find out when I get over there. I'm gonna see how many Trump signs I see over there in Plains when I get over there. And I wouldn't be surprised Jimmy Carter's probably the only person in town over there in Plains probably voted for Kamala. Everybody else probably voted for Trump. Well, there's McDonald's. I'm gonna go get me something to eat. I'm in Blakey, Georgia, headed to Plains. Here at McDonald's in Blakey, Georgia, and something you don't see very often. And I just caught my eye here. So you see that food line over there, but you see that what they call this glamour gallery over there. You know what that used to be? I'll give you a hint. Movies. I bet that used to be where a movie gallery used to be years ago. So they, instead of taking, they lazy, instead of changing that sign, they made it a glamour gallery. It used to be a movie gallery. So you don't see a lot of that very often. Sometimes they'll take that down, but most of these places, but you don't see a lot. And I tell you something right now, another thing. This right here, this place right here. You know what used to be here? It'd be a Church's Chicken. You know why I know? Because it looks like a Church's Chicken drive-through. But it ain't no Church's Chicken no more. It's a Country Crispy Chicken. But like I say, I'm headed to Plains, Georgia right now. I just stopped off here at Blakey, Georgia. Get me something McDonald's. But I'm headed to Plains, Georgia. And it's 2 weeks before the election. Hello, dog. What you doing? You trying to find something to eat? Good luck. See how they're sniffing everywhere. But right now, like I say, I'm in the big city of Blakey, Georgia, and headed to Plains.
In 800 feet, turn right onto Georgia 62
There's a courthouse
East Magnolia Street
in Blakey, Georgia.
I can't go on.
Blakey Airport. Big old airport in Blakey, Georgia. I just got the picture of the strip there. Ain't much to it. Okay. Out in the middle of nowhere, headed to Plains, Georgia. Coming around the bend here. We're getting close to Arlington, Georgia, a little old bitty town, about a little bit smaller than Blakey, I assume, but there's no cotton field right there. Yep. But like I say, still out in the middle of nowhere. Headed toward Arlington, Georgia right now. Just left Blakey, like that McDonald's back there a little bit ago. Coming up on Perry Creek. Somebody's out there fishing. Down Highway 62 in Georgia, right pretty close to Arlington, Georgia. On Highway 62, city of Arlington. Here, welcome to Arlington. Little old bitty town of Arlington, about like Columbia, Alabama. Little old bitty small place. Yeah, you see that right now. cotton picking time. You see all that cotton on the side of the road there? Everybody's harvesting that cotton. Of course, same way with peanuts. Everybody's picking peanuts too. So we're coming up to Arlington, Georgia. Little old bitty town.
In a quarter.
Okay, we're coming up to Arlington, Georgia. There's a Dollar General. They're everywhere. Zip Trip, whatever that gas station is. Calhoun County. Downtown Arlington, Georgia. I guess that's the only red light they got here.
In 800 feet,
There's an old
turn right
Pure
onto
gas
Georgia
station.
45 North, Morgan Road Northeast.
Going to Morgan, Georgia now. Leaving Arlington. Headed toward Morgan, Georgia. That's the next little old small town on 45 North. Headed toward Plains. Morgan, Georgia is 11 miles from here. Coming to a railroad crossing. Got to slow down these old country railroad crossings because sometimes they don't like to fix the tracks. There's a little old bitty school right there outside of Arlington, Georgia. There's a couple silos. You'll see that in like these farm communities. Looks like cotton out there in that field right there. We're on Highway 45 headed toward Morgan, Georgia. Cotton fields. There's peanuts over there to the left. They hadn't picked them peanuts yet. Peanuts over to the left, cotton over to the right. That's all you see in these country towns out here in South Georgia, Southeast Alabama. Cotton fields and peanut fields. Another thing you see in Georgia is a bunch of pecan fields. You see pecan trees, cotton fields, and you see peanuts. That's the main thing in Georgia. Peanuts, cotton, and pecans. That's right, that's more cotton over there over to the left right there. There's more cotton fields there. And you'll see a buzzard every now and then out there cleaning the road off. Getting them old possums, eating them old dead possums off the road. You'll see a buzzard every now and then. That's common out in the country. And a lot of pine trees. You see a lot of pine trees too. Especially out on these country roads. Okay. Priscilla Creek. Or something like that. On Highway 45 headed toward Morgan, Georgia. I think that's Priscilla Creek while it was back there. Not Priscilla, it's Priscilla. Like Elvis Presley's wife, Priscilla. Go around that old dead thing. It looks like an old dead deer right there. But I guess the possums, I mean not the possums, but the buzzards will be on here pretty soon. They'll clean it up. See, that's what the sanitation is out in the country. You got buzzards out there. They keep it clean out here in the country because you ain't got no sanitation trucks, so the buzzards got to clean it up. Okay, we coming up on Morgan, Georgia now. Looks like somebody's running for election there. Bishop for U.S. Congress. Okay. There's a cell tower. Okay, big city of Morgan, Georgia. Coming up on. Yeah, about like Pansy, Alabama. little old bitty place. But that looks like a prison. I mean, I guess that's the main industry around here. Can't believe that. I guess they get a lot of work there, because let's see what that is there. Calhoun State Prison near Morgan, Georgia. So I guess that's their main source of income around here. Little old bitty place. Morgan, Georgia. Speed zone ahead. I guess
In a quarter mile, slight right onto Dickey Street.
Right. I get there's where we go. We're coming up on Morgan, Georgia. I guess it's a little bit bigger than Pansy, Alabama. I kind of deceiving on there, because it looks like the county courthouse right there coming up on Calhoun County, I guess. Coming up to Highway 37.
Take the next right onto Dickey Street, then turn
The
left
Dickey
onto School
Street
Street
coming
Northeast.
up on. Okay. So we in Morgan, Georgia. Okay, we on Dickey Street. Gotta take 45. We on Dickey Street in Morgan, Georgia. There's a Liberty gas station. Yeah, there's somebody on a golf cart crossing the street there.
Then turn left onto Court Street.
Okay. Alrighty. We got Dawson, Georgia coming up too. That we'll be going through Dawson, Georgia.
Take the next left onto Whitney Street Northeast, then turn left onto Church Street.
Okay. Alrighty. Nice old cemetery there in
In a
Morgan,
quarter
Georgia.
mile, turn right onto School Street Northeast.
Okay, it's kind of weird the way this GPS goes. It's got us going all down these back roads. But there's a church right here in Morgan, Georgia. Yep. Morgan Baptist Church. Okay, there's a courthouse in Morgan, Georgia. Okay. Headed on 45
Continue on
north.
Georgia 45 north for 6 miles.
Okay. Next road, next town, Dawson, Georgia. Down 45, head toward Dawson, Georgia. That's our next stop. That's our next stop. 20 miles. Got some more cotton fields right there to the right there. To the left, I mean. Cotton. Margaret Creek. File 45 north. Overflow creek or something in there. Something Creek, Inch Away, McCartney Creek or something. On Highway 45.
Take the next left to stay on Georgia
Left up
45
here.
north.
Dawson 14. something. Looks like some peanuts out there. Got a bunch of weeds in them. Soybeans over there. They all weedy soybeans. Got a lot of weeds in them things. Soybeans over that way, so that's another crop they have, soybeans. Big old field of soybeans. That's cotton out there. Actually, I was wrong. That's cotton. That's some young cotton. I guess they planted it, and sometimes it was deceiving. But that's cotton out there. Bunch of kudzu side the road. I don't know what that is. I guess that's something they picked. I don't know what that. I think that's. I mean, it has some tomatoes out there. But that looks like that used to be corn out there. Yeah, they picked that. That used to be corn. That's old corn stalks right there. Something they done picked already. It looks like some kind of alfalfa or something like that. Yeah, that's the landmarks out here in the country. A bunch of cotton and peanuts, stuff like that. That's the landmarks out here in the country. That's all you're gonna see. There's a garbage can. A bunch of cotton over here to the left. Ready to pick that cotton. Looks like it's about ready to be picked. There's some more cotton. Looks like a bunch of weeds over here. Now, that ain't weeds. That's some kind of cover crop. There's peanuts right there. Big old field of peanuts. I thought they about ready to be picked. October the 21st or 24th, so it won't be long. They're gonna be picking them. A lot of people are already picking peanuts. 45 north. There's some more cotton. Cotton and peanuts. That's what you see out here. Cover crop or something. More peanuts over there to the left. You see a lot of peanuts and cotton out here. That was, like I say, headed to Plains, Georgia. Peanuts, peanuts, peanuts. Jimmy Carter was all about peanuts. He used to be all about peanuts. See a lot of peanuts in South Alabama and South Georgia. There's more peanuts right there. Ready to be picked. Actually, they dig peanuts. Dig them peanuts, let them sit on the ground and dry out, and they're ready to be picked. A lot of pine trees too. Old farmhouse. A lot of old farmhouses out in the country. Getting ready to pick them peanuts. There's a peanut picker right there. More cotton. Cotton as far as you can see. Ready to be picked too. Yep, turn right up here. Coming up on 82 East. We're going to turn right on 82 East.
next right onto US 82 East. Miles.
Okay, now we are on 82 East. We are now coming in Dawson, Georgia. Okay, we're up here at Dawson, Georgia. Coming up here for some makeup on Plains Road going to Plains, Georgia.
Drive southwest.
Okay, we're in Dawson, Georgia. There's the courthouse over there
Continue for 2 miles.
to the left, to the right. There's a courthouse right there to the right. Big old courthouse. Okay. Plains is straight ahead, but I figured, well, I'm gonna go around and take a picture of this courthouse in Dawson, Georgia.
In 300 feet, turn left onto North Main Street. Take the second left onto North Main Street.
I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna go by that courthouse, take a picture first.
Take the next right onto Jefferson Street Southeast, then turn right onto 5th Avenue Southeast.
It's a big old building. Okay, I'm in Dawson, Georgia. This is the old courthouse. I figure, well, I better take a picture of this while I'm coming through here. Dawson, Georgia. There's the street. Go back to the right, go back to Plains, go to the left. Go back to Dawson, Georgia, hold the turn, go back toward Morgan. I believe it's Morgan. Big old courthouse. There's an old house. Now this is Dawson, Georgia courthouse. Courthouse, Dawson, Georgia. Still in Dawson, Georgia. There's another picture of the old courthouse right there.
In 800 feet, turn right onto Roundtree Drive Southwest.
Looks like an old gas station from a long time ago.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Georgia 45 North, Georgia 520 West.
JC's Wings, I believe. That's the name of that place. Got to get off this downtown road here. Get on this main road here. 45 West.
Continue on Georgia 45 North for 1 mile.
Okay, we're fixing to leave Dawson, Georgia. There's another Dollar General. You'll see them everywhere. On 45 North. Won't be long. I'll be coming up on Plains Highway to go to Plains, Georgia.
49 North.
Georgia 49 North, headed toward Plains, Georgia, coming right up here.
Take the next right onto Georgia 45 North, Georgia 49 North.
Right here. 45 North, headed to Plains. Okay, 45 North, headed toward Plains, Georgia. 21 miles from here, America's 24. Headed toward Plains, Georgia. And I see some peanuts, and somebody just dug up some peanuts. Getting ready to harvest some peanuts. What a coincidence. We're coming to Plains, Georgia. Peanut County. Peanut country. Okay, you see peanuts dug, and they're getting ready to pick them peanuts. Headed toward Plains, Georgia. Plains Highway, headed to Plains, Georgia. Next stop, Plains, Georgia. Those are soybeans over there to the left. You don't see very many of those. And to the right. Mostly peanuts and cotton. They don't grow soybeans like they used to, but you see them every now and then. Kennedy Bridge, Bear Creek. Looks like somebody just picked all them peanuts off out of that field, gathered all the hay. There's a peanut trailer right there. Big one of them big new peanut butter trailers. Webster County. 45 North. Headed to Plains, Georgia. Almost there. Looks like somebody just harvesting peanuts out there. I see a garbage truck. They still doing it the old-fashioned way. Of course, this is the country. They get him. The guy jumps out, gets the garbage, dump it in the back of the truck, and drive it on down the road. Most places are going automatic, but they all, some out in the country, they still have people riding on the back of the truck. You know, that's right. We're coming up on the river, a little old creek. Okay. Kilfee Creek or something other. I don't know what that is. How do you pronounce it? Okay. Going on down the road. Sumter County, that was quick. Yeah, it was just went to Webster County, but it went to Sumter County. So it's from Webster County to Sumter County. It's probably kind of right close right there where the road was. Okay. Nice little shed over there. Okay, we're getting close to Plains, Georgia. Now coming into Plains, Georgia. Jimmy Carter's hometown. He's 100 years old. He just ain't been long, turned 100 years old. Welcome to Plains, Georgia, home of the 39th president. Plains, Georgia, city limits. There's some old peanut dryers. Peanuts. Coming to the depot road. Okay. Welcome to Plains, Georgia, home of Jimmy Carter. Okay. Been here many times. 2 weeks from the election. Alright, I'm gonna go in the depot. Last time I was here it closed, but it's open now. So I'm gonna go walk in here and take a few pictures in the old depot. That's where he used to do his campaign back in the days, old Jimmy Carter. Welcome to Plains Depot. The old rotary phone. Plains Depot. The man from Plains. The Carter legacy. Okay, I bet there's a TV in here. It looks like an old TV with I think I've seen it before. It's an old 25-inch screen TV. And they put a flat screen in it. I don't know why they did that. They put a flat screen TV in a 25-inch TV. Now, as many of these junk TVs I got at the house, they could have put a good TV in this thing. But they just took the screen out and put a flat screen in there. Look at that. They put that flat screen in there. That's one big joke. That's the only thing I don't like about this. They just put an old flat screen inside a 25-inch console cabinet. Let me take some pictures of this video here. Looks like it used to be a XL100. They took the tube out. Look, what is this? Oh, it's a Bell and Howell. Same thing. I guess that's a picture of old Jimmy Carter's teeth. Everybody making fun of him. There he is in the peanut field.
It's a long way from Plains, Georgia toward D.C.
That ain't no peanuts. Peanuts?
Can be measured by the path
That's peanuts. That's peanuts. Pulling them old corn, volunteer corn growing there, pulling that up out of it.
That has been traveled for more than 200 years in this country by people who could see in hardships freedom.
Stepping over them peanuts. I don't want him crushing them peanuts with his feet.
Those men and women literally built this nation from the land, nurturing a dream with dedication.
Checking the corn out, checking the
seasons
stalks and make sure everything's good.
Now, but the traditions they planted
Checking his yield.
continue to grow.
We can all see a greater nation. I have a vision of America. A vision that has grown and ripened as I've traveled and talked,
It's him.
listened, and learned.
You got that old
and
flat
gotten to know
screen right there on
the
this
people
side
of
of
this
that,
country.
where they took the tube
I
out.
see an America poised not only at the beginning of a new century, but at the brink of a long new era of more effective and efficient and sensitive and competent government. I see an America that has turned away from scandals and corruption. I see an American president who governs with vigor and with vision and affirmative leadership. A president who is not isolated from our people, but a president who feels your pain and who shares your dreams. I see an America on the move again, united, its wounds healed, an America entering its third century with confidence and competence and compassion, an America that lives up to the majesty of its Constitution and the simple decency of its people. This is my vision of America. I hope you share it, and I hope you will help me fight for it. See us once again have a nation that's as good and honest and decent and truthful and competent and compassionate.
Well, I guess they's cheap when they sit there and put this TV in here. They gonna be cheap. They just knocked took the old tube out and put a flat screen in here. I can understand that. These tube TVs need a lot of work, but them old flat screens go out too. $1976.
When I announced for president in December of 1974, there was a major headline on the editorial page of the Atlanta Constitution that said Jimmy Carter is running for what? And the right was about to say. I'm running for president.
Jimmy Carter entered the Democratic presidential race a political unknown. Outside of Georgia, hardly anyone even recognized his name. But that would change.
Jimmy who? Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy who?
I don't know who he is.
Jimmy Carter's baseball player, isn't he?
Well, I got nothing against him. Looks to me it's all right. You want to meet? He's a Democrat, right?
He's a people's man. He's sexy?
Wait a minute now. What do you mean by that?
I've never thought of Jimmy Carter as sexy. I think that if it comes down to it, people would say more that Gerald Ford is sexy because he was the.
That's a nice smile. That is it. So, pretty hair flying all around.
I heard he was a peanut farmer. I don't think it makes any difference, you know, I mean, whether you're a peanut farmer or not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with peanuts as far as I'm concerned. You know? I picture him like one of us. One of us.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present to you the next President of the United States, Jimmy Carter.
Sometimes introductions don't follow. I remember about 5 years ago when I was running for governor in Plains, Georgia. He went to Georgia South Northwestern College where he studied chemistry. And then he said he went to Georgia Tech where he studied engineering. And then he pointed out that I had gone to the U.S. Naval Academy and received a degree in naval science. And then he said he went to Union College in Schenectady, New York, where he did his graduate work in nuclear physics. And now he said he grows peanuts for a living.
Jimmy Carter's roots go deep into the dark red soil of southwest Georgia. He was born near the small farming town of Plains, but like many young people, decided against continuing the family tradition. Eventually, he ended a promising career as a naval officer to return to the land, resuming the work that his parents and their parents before them.
My children will be the sixth generation of the same land. And although I had a good chance to get an education as an engineer, science, nobody not before my generation knew how to finish high school. We've always worked for it. We know what it means to work.
The determination, the self-discipline, the pure exertion that helped Jimmy Carter build a successful farming business would also see him through a punishing campaign. A campaign that was marked in the beginning by loneliness. There were no reporters, no cameras, no Secret Service nearby when Jimmy first walked up and introduced himself to countless voters. This style was unheard of for a presidential hopeful, but for Jimmy Carter, there was no other way.
I want to be tested in the most severe possible way. I can't think of any more. All the people that know my character, I strengthen my weakness. That's an issue. If I can figure out what the record is, what I got to be, I'll be elected. Jimmy Carter, Georgia. That would be the president.
And so he traveled to the towns, the cities, to the meeting halls and streets, the supermarkets and sidewalks, talking to many people as he could meet, as many states as he could visit. Gradually, he began to close the gap between Jimmy Carter unknown and Jimmy Carter, a candidate to be considered.
TV and a TV. It looks like an old Bell and Howe RCA.
Jimmy Carter entered the Democratic presidential race.
They took the tube out.
Outside of Georgia,
They put a flat screen inside an old TV. They could have done better than that. Jimmy who? Jimmy who? Jimmy who? Jimmy who? Well, that's pretty near it in here, in the old depot. I got that video on another recording on another part. I'll have that whole video. So if you want to see it, it'll be posted. But that's it for the depot. We'll go walk around and take some more pictures. Okay. I think I'm gonna walk and go get me some food. I slow down, y'all can read these documents, but these documents are common. They're on the internet, and they also got them on Wikipedia if you want to see these documents. But I'm just in Plains. I figure I'd take some pictures of them. But these documents are pretty much should be on the internet on Wikipedia if you want to read them. Might make another little visit in there. I see some peanuts going to the drying trailer. Well, I know Jimmy Carter mailed his ballot in because he ain't able to go nowhere because he's old. But I guess he ain't the only one in Plains voting for Harris and Walsh. Somebody else is. I thought Jimmy Carter was the only one in Plains voting for Democrat, but I guess somebody else is too. From what I understand, everybody in Plains is pretty much voting Republican except for Jimmy Carter and whoever that is down there. I'm just joking about that, but I'm probably truthful about all that. Well, I'm fixing to go on down there to the old farm place and look around a little bit, take some pictures. Okay, you see that Trump Vance sign right there? Everybody in Plains nearby got Trump. Look at there, Trump Vance everywhere. All right, this is what I'm gonna do, and I was right on it, and they were right. They say Jimmy Carter, and there's somebody else. I seen there's a there's a Harris, but see, guess what? That's over on Jimmy Carter's side over there. They're probably related to Jimmy Carter over there. But see, everybody's voting for Trump Vance in Plains. But you see all these Trump Vance signs everywhere. Trump Vance everywhere. But when you go over here, right here over at Jimmy Carter's place over here, right here, here's Jimmy Carter's place coming up right here. That's Jimmy Carter's place right there. Guess what you're gonna see right there? Right there at Jimmy Carter's place. Look at there. Now that goes into Jimmy Carter's place right there. But look here. See what you see right there? I see it. Harris, Walsh. That's at Jimmy Carter's place. But when you look across the street, everybody else is voting for Trump and Vance. They say it's like 100 to 1 when it comes to vote for Vance and Trump. And whoever, the few people that voting on this side of the road over here, is Jimmy Carter. Or there's two houses over there voting for Kamala Harris and that old other guy Walsh or whatever his name is. But look here, look at there. Everybody else vote for Trump. Everywhere there's Trump sign. The only place you're gonna see a Walsh sign, look at there. It's Jimmy Carter's place. Because Jimmy Carter is solid Democrat all the way around. He always has been. Look at that. Trump Vance everywhere. That's all you see. Trump Vance. So I guess Jimmy Carter is the only one voting Democrat. Now you see they must be related to Jimmy Carter there. But say most of Jimmy Carter's people are voting Trump. But look at there. Everywhere you look, Trump, 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 Trump. All right, I'm going to go make the tour over there. Right, we're just leaving Plains. We're going to go over to the farm over there. But I just figured I'd take a video of this here. Harvesting peanuts out there. Now that's how they harvest peanuts. They dig them up. They got a machine that digs them up. And it picks them up out of the ground. And people have probably seen that. Then it throws them on the ground there. Then they sit on that ground for about a week. Then they run the picker through there and pick the peanuts up. As soon as it picks the peanuts up, then they dump it in them big old red trailers. It's previously, I showed you on the video, there's a trailer. They dump it in them trailers, and that trailer that they haul to the Plains dryer. Then they haul them trailer to the dryer, and they dry them peanuts up. And they send them off and people buy them. The buyers buy them. But what they do with that leftover hay, you see all that hay in that leftover hay right there? They spin that hay after it falls out. They spin it. They got it's got some little blades on it, and it gathers that hay. Then it runs through a hay baler, and they bale it up, and make rolls. Well, that's basically what they're doing now. They're picking them peanuts. So right now, fixing to head on over to the old Jimmy Carter farm over there. Okay, we're at the old home place, Jimmy Carter. And we're here a little early, so I might be able to get to go inside.
That is Miss Jules. Miss Jules is just a lover. Leave your window down just a little bit longer. She'll want to go for a ride. She's just a special kind of cat. She was up at our shop in town behind the high school, and they have a pair of cats here. Cats are great. So that was from her and her sister.
Looks like some cotton out there and some sugar cane. Okay, there's an old outhouse. Yeah. I'm gonna hit this button again. I did this last time I did a video years ago, but since I'm gonna go in the house and I'll be able to tour the house, I'm gonna see what Jimmy's got to say. Uh-oh, hit it again.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Carter. Welcome to the house and the farm where I spent my youth. Here we had long working days during those Depression years. We would wake up each morning when the bell would ring about 4 o'clock sun time, which was long before sunrise. We didn't have any electricity, and we didn't have running water in our house. We got water from hand pumps for both the livestock and for our own use.
Don't you like them special sound effects?
Quite a change for us when electricity came. My daddy believed in everyone on the farm doing their share. Here in the backyard we had chickens and ducks and guinea hens and geese that we had to feed, and of course we had to sweep the yards all the time. We also had to cut wood and bring it in the house for Mama to use in the stove and also in the fireplaces to keep us warm. The hardest work though was in the field. I had to carry water in 2.5 gallon buckets to many workers in the field on hot days. And when I got older, of course, I helped milk the cows. But I also had a lot of fun as a child. I played with my playmates who lived nearby, particularly whenever it rained and we couldn't work in the field or after the crops were plowed and before the harvest. We pushed steel barrel hoops for the wire pusher. And in the nearby streams, we went fishing regularly. We built small dams. We went swimming in the creeks. So we had a lot of fun, both around the house and barn and also in the distant fields.
Water unfit for human consumption. Yeah, right. Sugar cane. And some cotton. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Okay. There's a fig tree.
Yes, sir.
Most time in the old days, fig trees would be outside these old houses. As soon as these houses come abandoned, the fig tree would die.
Dang.
Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Everybody had a fig tree.
You have a good afternoon.
Well, take care. Okay. We are going to make a little trip in this house. This is Miss Earl Carter's house. Go in this door here. Man, it's nice and cool in here. Man, it's cool. Got that breezeway. See, that's what kept these houses cool. It's nice and cool. Don't even need no air conditioning here. It's about 80 degrees outside. Okay. Old Singer machine. Actually, it's not a Singer machine, it's a Mason rotary machine. But the most common was Singer. Let's see. Mason Manufacturing Company. That's correct, Mason Manufacturing Company. Okay. I assume this is fake. Actually, it is. It's made out of plastic. Of course, I remember on the Beverly Hillbillies, Jethro seen these things. He tried to eat them. But it's all made out of plastic. Look at there. Hard as a rock. Okay. Fill this stream. Roosevelt 6th through third term. I wonder if it's a reproduction radio, or if it's the real deal. Actually, it's the real deal. What if it works? Okay. Nice and cool in here. And nice and hot out here. Pecan orchard. Actually, I see some water. So there is water up there. Yeah, it's hold. I'm gonna see if I can get this thing to work. It's not the you can't. The piece is missing right here. The lift. But yes, there is definitely water up there. I remember one year I was able to, it was working but apparently it's not. But there's water there.
We had a store, what we call a commissary on the farm, which was quite common in rural communities because they provided the basic necessities that had to be bought by the workers and by our family as well. What happened usually was that the purchases were on credit and payment for the different items were made on payday or sometimes at the end of the season when the crops were harvested. The stores were convenient for three reasons. One, they were close by, and most of the transportation was on foot. Secondly, the landowner, the larger ones, owned the store in order to make a profit on items sold. And third, the people who lived on the farm or nearby quite often had no credit rating in town, whereas the landowner that owned the store would know them, and if they wanted to buy a pair of shoes or a shirt or some tobacco, they didn't have to worry about credit because they had ready credit, since the landowner knew them well, and since the landowner knew that when he paid them for their work, he could collect the bill. This store was not kept open all the time, but it was open all day Saturday, because that was the day for major purchases. That was the day when the workers were paid and when they paid off what they owed. The rest of the week, the store was closed except when somebody wanted to make any kind of purchase. Both we and they were out of the fields during meal times. So almost every time I ever sat down at a meal, someone knocked on the back door and wanted to make a purchase from the store. My daddy would throw the keys across the table to me. I would get up and miss part of the meal, walk out to the store, unlock it, sell 5 cents worth of chewing tobacco or a bottle of castor oil or 2 pounds of sugar. Or something on credit. Lock the store back up and go back to our meal. I hardly ever remember going to an entire meal without having to be interrupted to go to the store and open it to make a sale. We had a store, what we call a commissary on the farm, which was quite common in rural communities because they provided the basic necessities that had to be bought by the workers and by our family as well. What happened usually was that the purchases were on credit and payment for the different items were made on payday or sometimes even at the end of the season when the crops were harvested. The stores were convenient for three reasons. One, they were close by and most of the transportation was on foot. Secondly, the landowner, the larger ones, owned the store in order to make a profit on items sold. And third, the people who lived on the farm or nearby quite often had no credit rating in town, whereas the landowner that owned the store would know them, and if they wanted to buy a pair of shoes or a shirt or some tobacco, they didn't have to worry about credit because they had ready credit, since the landowner knew them well, and since the landowner knew that when he paid them for their work, he could collect the bill. This store was not kept open all the time, but it was open all day Saturday because that was the day for major purchases. That was the day when the workers were paid and when they paid off what they owed. The rest of the week, the store was closed except when somebody wanted to make any kind of purchase. Both we and they were out of the fields during meal times. So almost every time I ever sat down at a meal, someone knocked on the back door and wanted to make a purchase from the store. My daddy would throw the keys across the table to me. I would get up and miss part of the meal, walk out to the store, unlock it, sell 5 cents worth of chewing tobacco or a bottle of castor oil or 2 pounds of sugar, make a ticket showing that the person had bought something on credit, lock the store back up, and go back to our meal. I hardly ever remember going to an entire meal without having to be interrupted to go to the store and open it to make a sale.
Well, I would assume that sign says Colonial is good bread. Colonial is good bread. They need to do that sign. Royal Crown Cola. I assume they took, why they took the, there it is. It's 80 degrees. Well, that's it at the old Jimmy Carter's home place. I see the old windmill starting, trying to. I'm sure it's not going to pump because that gear is missing a piece. Yeah, actually it's disconnected up there. It's spinning, but it's not doing anything. It's disconnected there at the gear. And down at the bottom, it's missing that little round piece that goes in between that lifter. It's missing as well. If they would replace that, and if they would fix that, it would probably work. But that's it at the old Jimmy Carter's home place. There's an old gas pump. Okay, I see they got some honeybees out here. See what they do, what that does. The reason they put the glass bottles out there, put that sugar in that glass bottle, they put some sugar in there. And what that does, it draws in bees. So, honeybees. That's what you use for the germination of all these plants out here. The honeybees helps the plants. See all them bees right there? You can hear them. See? What's that say right there? Well, at least that's one got out here is honeybees. Well, that's about it here for the Jimmy Carter farm. So that's about it. Talk to you later. Let me head out of here. They're buzzing away. Oh yeah. Need to get me some bees one day. Well, that's it. The Jimmy Carter cat here. Come on. Here. Jimmy Carter cat. Come on. This is the Jimmy cat. You live here, you're going to get you some bees, ain't you? You're going to get you some rats, ain't you? You about ready to have some babies? Well, that's it. Bye-bye, cat. Go look who's some rats. They out here. Well, that's the cat. The cat owns this place. Jules. Well, that's it. A couple more houses I didn't go through. I went to them old barns on another video a while back. I went through them barns. That's what you hook the your mules to make syrup. They go round and around and around. I'm gonna walk in this house here. This used to be a neighbor's house or something, but I'm gonna walk through this house here, see what's in his house here, this old house. Well, it's a little warmer in this house. Line the walls with newspaper. Yeah, these were neighbors. It's actually warmer in this house, and the reason it's warmer because there's no cross ventilation here, and the ceilings are lower. As you know, in the other house, his ceilings were way higher, and you had a front door and you had a back door right across, and you had a hall, and it would pull that wind through. And it was nice and cool in them other houses. It's pretty warm in this house here.
In addition to my mother and father, there were a few people that shaped my life. Two of them were Jack and Rachel Clark, who lived in this house. When my mother and father would go off on vacation, I would stay with Jack and Rachel. And they provided me with information about the basic rudiments of life, the priorities that any human being should accrue, and also my entree into understanding how the sharecroppers and day laborers lived in a strictly segregated society. Much later, I wrote a poem about Rachel Clark, titled Rachel.
Fishing poles.
My young life, shaped by those I loved, felt the gentle touch of Rachel Clark, our neighbor on the farm, whose husband, Jack, cared for the barn and did the kind of work that we boys most admired. He had mules and rang the cast iron bell that brought an end to sleep,
Rice
and
and
later
peas.
told the time to
And
rest.
corn.
His wife was small and quiet. Her brown skin fixed her in our segregated world, yet Rachel had the aura of a queen that somehow wouldn't let the white folks ask for her to do the chores around their place, like cooking, ironing clothes, or tending babes. But she would volunteer with quiet grace anytime she learned the need was real. For miles around, the farming folks would know what Rachel did while working in the field. I'd pick 150 pounds of cotton if I never stopped to rest. No man could do much more. But Rachel Clark could pick twice as much as second best. At sundown, we would tie what we had got in burlap sheets and watch the foreman weigh, see for ourselves that Rachel had the most, and if she had topped her own best mark that day. She'd put a lot more peanuts on the stacks, pull more weeds, shuck more corn. No one, in fact, could equal any he did. These kinds of deeds that may seem small to some were big events for us, in which we all competed as our farm life would allow. When work was done, or when a heavy rain made the fields too wet to hoe or plow, and open cotton bolls too damp to pick, sometimes she'd smile at me and mention fish. Then she and I would long and walk 6 miles or so to reach a stream she knew. These journeys gave us ample time to talk, or rather, I would listen to her words, and she would think a while and then hold forth about God's holy way, how when we deal with nature, we are stewards of the earth. She'd say that blessings bring on debts to pay, describe the duties of a man and wife, and say the brave and strongest need not fight. She'd tell how praying gave her life a lift, and how it made her act and not just talk, like staying up all night with someone sick. It wasn't empty preaching like in church. Sometimes I wasn't glad to reach the creek. Our bait was crawfish, lizards, crickets, worms, or whatever she would recommend for perch, catfish, and bass, which we call trout, misnamed by our European kin, or mine at least. I knew that Rachel's folks were
themselves to be my people's slaves. The swamps and woodlands came alive for me. She way that every person craves to learn. Our creels were empty flour sacks that kept our cats in water, fresh and safe, from water snakes and turtles that would have left us bones instead of fish. Rachel used exactly 7 poles for reasons I could never figure out. I asked her, why not 8 or 6? She only smiled at me, then went ahead and caught, with luck or skill, 5 fish to one of mine. She seemed a favor heading home if some of hers would wind up in my sight. Those might have been the best days I have known. With my folks gone, I'd stay with her and Jack. Newspapered walls all leaned. The sagging doors stayed open, letting flies and breezes in. I smelled the lye that cleaned the holy floors. Saving kerosene, we slept at dusk on lumpy corn shucks, not my feather bed. They always made me feel like I belonged and knew what were better left unsaid. Although the food was plain and seldom changed, I never thought our big house down the road was better. They all knew I liked to breathe with Rachel thoughts. I guess my feelings showed. In later years, I'd visit Rachel's home in public housing. Sometimes I'd find her on the village street, then still a queen, her apron sagging with a can of beer. She'd laugh about what good times there had been, and tell me what she thought I ought to do in Washington, where I was working then.
Well, that old stove right there. Well, they put them bricks up under there so they'd keep that heat from that stove to touch that ground, because you had to have them bricks there to keep that house from burning down. Cause that insulated the stove, and up there as well, separate from the house, because you had to put them bricks there. It kept the house cool. I actually kept the house from burning down because this heat would be so hot you couldn't touch it, so you had to put them bricks there to insulate the stove. Them bricks wouldn't heat up. It'd keep the floor from getting hot. And the thing about these old houses, if you had something you wanted to hide, that's where you hide your stuff, right back there. You hide it behind there, you take it and stick it way behind in there and ditch you a flashlight, look back down there and get it. You hide stuff back behind the wall there. So that's kind of a secret we did back in the old days. If we wanted to hide something, we'd either take one of these and pull it back, hide it down in there, and put it back, and we know where it was at. I've hid many stuff back behind walls like that back when I was a kid. You know, books that we ain't supposed to look at. You know, like them old adult magazines, stuff like we hide it behind these walls here. That's what we did when we were kids. We could do stuff like that. Yeah. But, now, that's about it. There's one more little house I'm going to check out down the road. And that's going to be about it. Actually, I'm in this another house here. It's not open to the public. Apparently somebody lives here. So this is actually a house where they live, because it's got it wrote right here on the sign here. So apparently this house is still in use. Well, that's it. Like I say, this house is not open. That other house right there is where I was just at a while ago. But that's it for now. Okay, I'm here at Plains Cemetery, just outside of Plains, Georgia, about 1.5 miles outside of Plains. And this is Carter, Billy Carter. You know, the guy that owned the store down the road. Billy Carter. I guess he drank himself to death. 1937 to 1988. I thought he lived. I thought he died a lot earlier than that. I guess he died in 1988. Carter, that's Billy Carter right there. The one that owned the store. And this is James Earl Carter, Jimmy Carter's daddy. And this is Lillian Carter, Jimmy Carter's mama. So that's the Carters. Billy Carter, and of course that's open right there. I don't know if anybody's going to be buried there or not. Actually, this is Layman Cemetery. It's not Plain Cemetery. It's a $2,000 graves or more. There's where Billy Carter and Jimmy Carter's mom and daddy's buried. There's some more Carters over here. A lot of these people recently died. And that's pretty much it here. A lot of old graves out here. They say over 2,000 graves. That's it. There, fishing pond back there. Can't hardly see it. But there's a fish. There's somebody back there too. Oh, that's water coming out of that pond. Probably a little old fountain. But the house is back in there somewhere. You can't hardly see it. Covered up by all that brush. But that's it for now. Look across the street over. Trump, 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 Trump. All the way on down the plains. Trump.